Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansier. I wanted to come briefly today to wish you a good day and some greetings and blessings. I wanted to, we are getting ready for a full moon in Taurus. It's going to be a super moon on the 3rd, 4th of November. There will be Jupiter, Neptune and Pluto that will be coming together in an harmonious connection, so there will be some deep core issue and value that will have to be addressed with the connection of Chiron and Venus as well, to realign our goals, to upgrade our goals, and so it will bring us strength to be aligned with those higher values. Also, there will be on the 11th, there will be also new activation, maybe new sense of purpose that will be given. For essentially, it is when the triple portal activation, the 10-10 portal activation was the conclusion. That the 11-11 is a new beginning, and the 12-12 it will be aligned to will be anchoring even more energy around the month of December. So I would say that it's very important not to listen to the sirens, the chimera. There is all kinds of voices, so it is important to stay focused on the light, stay focused on what feels good, what connects you to something that makes sense, and not to allow yourself to be too distracted by all kinds of old things that can still be. Everything has a reason for being, but it is important to always see with the eyes of lucidity. For the light is the essence of the soul. It is a fire. We need to turn into the fire, tune into this inner presence. We have to attune our heart to be in the frequency of that. For it is something that comes progressively. For in essence, there is God, the divine minister, the I am presence, the inner minister. There is the angels, the celestial heavens, all of the ministries of life, and there is us. So there's this trinity of existence. For we are the subject of attention of both God and the Spirit, and we have to work within that to create this harmonization. For when we move into this fire of the soul, we reconnect to our crystalline nature, and eventually we attain the 6th dimension, the dimension of sacred fire and crystal geometry, sacred geometry. And so from this dimension we may connect to our dragon. For every human being is connected to a dragon. Believe it or not, we all have our dragon, and the dragon are the keeper of the sacred fire. For they are also a great initiator, because they know the secrets of anti-gravity. They have a huge body, very small wings, yet they are able to fly through the air. And so by doing that, we can be initiated into anti-gravity and learn levitation. For that's something that will be coming into the picture for humanity to discover this potential. There is another ways to approach anti-gravity and levitation. It is through the anti-gravity crystal of Atlantis. There is 3 great crystals in the crystal bed of Arkansas that have been protected, saved from Atlantis: the blue crystal of knowledge, the emerald crystals of healing, and the gravity crystal, this huge crystal that was created to put so that we can create anti-gravity waves and use that for levitation. It is something that will be reactivated. We can call on those crystals. We don't need to be in any specific location. There is 9 of those great sacred crystals that are being reactivated, and we can just kind of call on to them. Of course, there is Crystallus Maximus, which is the Max, the great 13 paradigm, the crystal crown. You can call on Max and put your head inside the crystal skull and receive download, get information. For that, for we are already going through all kinds of awakening. We got to follow our own light, follow our own path, see what makes sense and what feels good. So I will pull out a few cards. For the situation is receptivity. It is about being able to receive. When we receive, we can receive this higher light, this higher wisdom. We are totally in the state of total bliss, total peace, total well-being. And then we move into creativity, and the key is to harmonize the receptive side of us with the creative side of us. What we see in the invisible plane is totality. It means we're not totally sure to have a fullness of our attention. Here it is somebody that has to do a trapeze act. So it is important to learn to try to stay focused on what matters, so that we can concentrate on what's very important and not to waste too much time. What we see in the visible world is is harmony. It is the ability to regenerate this energy. The energy becomes like a self-fulfilling generator where life is eternally given. And so once we find that point of wisdom, this point of harmony, this point of freedom, we want to cultivate it, and we know that whenever we come out of it, we always have the power to return to center and to reconnect to that flow of energy. What we're learning right now is to let go of the mind, to let go of the labyrinths of the mind, all those chimeras that I was talking about, all this, the sirens, they're kind of trying to lure us away from what is true, what feels good, what makes sense. But sometimes we do have to experience those delusions, but to know that you always have help, assistance in the invisible world. It's a kind of participation. And what will be the outcome of that is the dream, is the realization of the dream, of love, of peace, joy, abundance, freedom, all the good things of life. So it does require a bit of effort to let go of some of those limited beliefs, limited ways of thinking, but also to be able to catch ourselves when we not going into a flow that is completely positive, and so we can let go and move back to the center and reconnect, restart with a blank canvas and start something new. For when we have to deal with something that comes from whatever it is, it's like if it comes into our mind, it's because there is a meaning to it. Some things are more meaning than others, but we want to deal with everything in an enlightened way, so everything with softness, if possible, not to be brutal within your thought in relation to, even if brutal thought comes into your mind, if you respond with kindness, the thoughts will not be able to return with brutality, will be tempered by your return energy. So it is important to create this temperance. This painting behind me is a painting that represents the local universe of Nebadon. It's a dark matter universe that consists about 6 million planets. Our planet is part of constellation 70. Center world is called Salvington. It's located somewhere in the Pleiades, I think. Those are invisible worlds. They are celestial planes that are you would pass by, you would not see it. But everything is very well organized. The whole universe of universes is very intelligently run. And so, and in this painting, which represents the local universe, this painting over there represents the super universe. So that there is 10 major sections, and in these paintings there would be 100,000 local universe, such as this one that we are seeing in these paintings. It's just to show the relationship, a little bit of the relationship between those two ideas of paintings. They're based on the Urantia cosmology. Well, I'm gonna be completing my luggage. Well, I'm going to Sri Lanka for a few days. A friend of mine bought a house in the south of Sri Lanka, and she invited me for many years, but I didn't have time to go. So now it's. There are many hotels that have been building up since she bought the place, and so now she's wondering if she's going to sell the place to find a quieter spot. But I want to visit her, so it's going to be something spontaneous. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'm going to do that, and I will definitely I will look into the possibility. I'm sure it will be possible for me to broadcast from there. And I'm going to finish with a song. Just to do a little. It's a song that's not easy to sing, but I like it. Yeah, it had a second part, but I don't have the words of the second part. I can misplace it, so I'm going to do the beginning of it. It's a blues song. It's called Cinnamon. Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna run to? Oh, long that day. Well, I run to the rock. Please hide me, I run to the rock. Please hide me, I run to the rock. Please hide me, Lord. Oh, long that day. But the rock cried out, I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I'm gonna hide you, guy, all long that day. I said, rock, what's the matter with you, rock? Don't you see I need you, rock? Lord, 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 all long that day. So I run to the river, he was bleeding, I run to the sea. He was bleeding, I run to the sea. He was bleeding, oh long that day. So I ran to the river, he was boiling, I ran to the sea. He was boiling, I ran to the sea. He was boiling, all long that day. So I ran to the Lord, please hide me, Lord. Don't you see me praying? Don't you see me down here praying? But the Lord said, go to the devil. The Lord said, go to the devil. He said, go to the devil. All long that day. So I ran to the devil. He was waiting. I ran to the devil. He was waiting. I ran to the devil. He was waiting. All long that day. I cried, power, power, Lord. Power, power, Lord. Power, power, Lord. Power, power, Lord. Power. So I ran to the river, he was bleeding, I ran to the sea. He was raining, I was boiling, I ran to the sea. He was boiling all long that day. So I ran to the Lord, he said, Lord, hide me. I said, Lord, hide me, please hide me. Please hide me all long that day. He said, child, where were you when you had to be praying? I said, Lord, Lord, hear me praying. Lord, Lord, hear me praying. Lord, Lord, hear me praying all long that day. Cinnamon, you had to be praying. You had to be praying, Cinnamon. You had to be praying all long that day. I cried, power, power, Lord. Power to the Lord. Power to the Lord. Power to the Lord. Well, I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Namaste.